Namandavs, 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 namandavs.
Morning, everybody. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming. It's a nice day outside, and we'll do our best to make it a nice day inside, too. But I hope you have a beautiful Sunday. We wanted to thank Yukari Williams, one of our certified minister's assistants, for ringing that calling bell. My name's Bill Teague, another of the certified minister's assistants here. And our Dharma leader today will be our friend Arturo Rubio, also a certified minister's assistant. Some of you may know this, but I just put it on the website. I help out with the website here. That in the past, Arturo Rubio has helped translate the spiritual head of our national organization. We use the term Bishop, Bishop Marvin Harada, who has done 5-minute Dharma messages in a program called Dial the Dharma. So you can call this number and get a beautiful Dharma message at any time, day or night. And you can choose to hear it in English or Japanese. And then Arturo's contribution has been that he's been translating them into Spanish too. So it's sort of a trilingual thing. But the latest bit of news is that, and it's really smart, is they've made it into a podcast. So that means you don't have to call in, and you can choose to hear previous messages if you want. There's more information on the website. There's a long website address, but the short one is btsd.net, and that jumps you over to the main website. Yes? You can still call in. That hasn't changed. Yeah, well, that's just it. Nothing wrong with appropriate technology, so that's great. Anyway, I'm so glad that you could join us today for our service. Our musician today is going to be Trishia Carinio on the piano. And now I'd like to impose on Arturo to lead us in silent meditation.
A family is a place where a mind lives with other minds. If these minds love each other, the home will be as beautiful as a flower garden. Kansho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandavs, Namandavs, Namandavs.
Thank you, Arturo. I really appreciate that. And we'll go ahead next and chant the Sutra Juseige, which is on page 34 of the paperback Purple Book.
Gagon Chosegan Ishimu Jodo Shigan Fumanzok Seifu Joshogak Ga Omuryoko Fui Daiseshu Fusai Shobingu Seifu Joshogak Jashi Jobutudo Myosho Chojipo Kukyo Mishomon Seifu Joshogak Ryokujin Shonen Joe Shubongyo Shigumu Jodo Isho Tenin Shi Jinriki Endaiko Fusho Musaido Shoujo Sankumyo Kosai Shuyakunan Kaihi Chiegen Meshi Komoan Heisokusho Akudo Tsudatsu Zen Shumon Koso Jomanzok Iyoro Jipo Nichigazu Shujuki Tenko Onpugen Ishukai Hozo Kose Kudoku Chodai Shuchu Seppo Shishiku Kuyo Isai Butsu Gusoku Shutoku Hon Gane Shitsujoman Toku Isan Gayo Nyobutsu Mugechi Tsudatsu Mifusho Gangaku Erik Toshi Saisho Son Shiganya Koka Daisen no Kando Koku Shotenin Touchin Myoke Namandabu 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 Gani Shikudoku Byodo Seisai Dohotun Bodai Shin Ojo Andrakoku Kansho, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandabs, Namandabs, Namandabs.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, Arturo. We'd now like to go ahead and recite the golden chain. I'm going to get you the page number. Greg knows it by heart. I'm sorry. "96. Please stand. 90? 90? See, everyone here knows. Please stand. Let's all read together. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Please put your hands together on Kansho, reciting the name of Amida Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Dab Samadab. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. And now please join me in listening to Arturo's Dharma message for today. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, last month I gave a Father's Day Dharma talk at Roar Park, and I was asked if I could repeat it again today. So here it goes, word by word. Happy Father's Day. Just kidding. I won't repeat it verbatim, but I will talk a bit about some of the points I covered in this Dharma talk. That Sunday, June 16th, in addition to celebrating Father's Day, we also remembered Shinran Shonin, the founder of our Joro Shinshu School of Pure Land Buddhism. On the 16th of every month, we hold a memorial service, Gomeinichi, in honor of Shinran Shonin, and last month it landed on Father's Day. Because of those two important occasions that fell on the same Sunday, for my Dharma talk, I decided to briefly focus on three very important figures within our Buddhist tradition, seeing them as the father figures that they were. While doing research for that Dharma talk, I came to see those incredibly important figures as simple human beings, with wives, children, and the complicated situations that sometimes come up in any family. Let us begin with Shakyamuni Buddha. Yes, the historical Buddha was also a father. There are conflicting stories about when the Buddha became a father. Some stories tell us that the night Siddhartha Gautama, who would become the historical Buddha, left his palace, he took one last look at his wife Yasodhara and his newborn son Rahula, who were laying in bed, and then went off to begin his spiritual practice. It's been said that Siddhartha didn't want to eat his newborn son because he knew that this would make it very difficult to leave, having gotten attached to the baby. Other stories tell us that Rahula was born long after Siddhartha had left his palace. Regardless of when Rahula was born, in relation to Siddhartha's leaving his palace, we see here a representation of fatherhood that doesn't really read like a fairy tale. To begin with, the name Rahula refers to something that is an obstacle or hindrance on the path to enlightenment, which sounds mean. But I wonder what would have happened if Siddhartha had decided to stay home and become a family man, leaving behind any spiritual aspirations he had entertained. For starters, we wouldn't be gathered here as Buddhists or as learners of Buddhism. Some people could argue that leaving a child behind to go on a spiritual quest was not the right thing to do, while others would say that Siddhartha made sure that his son and his wife would be well taken care of once he left. That is true, but Rahula was left without a father figure the first few years of his life. The closest father figure he had during that period of his life was King Suddhodana, his grandfather. Later, Rahula would reconnect with his father, by that time known as Shakyamuni Buddha, and would become one of his followers and even an ordained monk. And very important, we must consider that the customs of that time and place were much different than what we're used to today. But still, we can see that even then, fatherhood could be a complicated thing. Now let's go to 13th century Japan and see how Shinran Shonin fared from a paternal standpoint. Most of us know that Shinran had 7 children with his wife Eshini, and that his youngest daughter Kakushini took care of Shinran in his later years. Kakushini was also instrumental in preventing Shinran's teachings from being lost after his death and enshrining his remains for the benefit of future generations. But Shinran also had his fair share of problems within his family. His eldest son, Zenran, caused a lot of problems among Shinran's followers in the Kanto region by claiming that he had received a secret teaching from his father, which was not true. Shinran tried to convince Zenran to change his ways and correct his past mistakes, but Zenran would not budge. The things got so bad that Shinran disowned Zenran. Can you imagine the pain that Shinran must have felt? The tears that he must have shed over this situation with his son. It must have been terrible. Now we go forward almost 200 years, and Rennyo has become the 8th Monshu. Rennyo is known as the restorer or second founder of Shin Buddhism because he was able to revitalize Joro Shinshu at a time when it had become stagnant. Rennyo also became a father. And I'm not going to ask how many kids you think he had, because some of you already know the answer. So I'll just say it. During his lifetime, Rennyo married 5 times and fathered 27 children, 13 sons and 14 daughters. 7 of his children died at a young age. I can't even imagine the pain of losing 1 child, let alone 7. Early records highlight Rennyo's poverty. At times he was unable to purchase lamp oil and sometimes read books by moonlight. Firewood was scarce, so at times he had to bathe with cold water. On occasions, he did not eat for 2 or 3 days. Records also suggest that Rennyo was a very good father, which explains why many of his children faithfully supported him in spreading the Nembutsu teachings throughout Japan. Knowing some of these details about the lives of key figures within our Buddhist tradition makes the teachings more relatable to me. They also show me that those who have come before us and who have transmitted the teachings to this day have all been simple human beings dealing with their own issues and challenges. We are not talking about superheroes here or fairy tales where everyone lives happily ever after. There is pain and loss and moments of doubt and anguish all along this vast human chain that has brought us here to this moment, that has brought us these teachings. I think of this and realize that fatherhood has always been challenging. It doesn't matter if we're talking about India or Japan or the US, the present or centuries ago. It makes me think of my younger years when I didn't take school very seriously. All I was interested in at that time was my girlfriend and playing hooky, and my grades were proof of that. When money was tight, it never crossed my mind that it wasn't easy for my dad to pay my tuition. Many years later, it was my turn to be the father, dealing with teenagers and their issues. Those times when I said to myself over and over, my dad never told me it was going to be like this. This topic could probably spin off into a conversation about karma. I guess this is how karma works. Some Buddhists say that every single person we encounter out in the street has been our father, mother, brother, or sister at some point in time. We can definitely see Shakyamuni Buddha as our father. The same with Shinran and Renyo and many others. They are the fathers who for many generations have passed us their teachings, their wisdom and compassion to their children. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandabs, Namandabs, Namandabs.
Thank you, Arturo, for that lovely message. I wasn't able to be there at Roar Park, so I'm so glad you were able to repeat it. Thanks also for the reminder that all of our heroes, if you will, or at least our spiritual leaders in this tradition are regular people. When you follow the Buddhist path, your life doesn't suddenly, your problems don't get solved. Maybe your attitude towards your problems change, though, and we begin to see them in the kind of richness and complexity that Arturo suggested. Maybe we can be a little more settled so that we're slightly less emotional maybe, and can go ahead and respond with the wisdom and compassion that we continue to discover in our daily lives. So at this time, I'm going to ask you to stand and sing we call it a Gatha. It's a little bit like a hymn. That's Ondokusan II on page 128. Thank you. Please remain standing, hands together in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Butsu, Namo Dabs, Namo Dabs, Namo Dabs. Thank you. Please be seated. So at this time, do we have any announcements? As people come forward, I just wanted to let folks know that this is a change in tradition. Ordinarily, we've kept the temple quiet during August, give everyone a break, but the board has allowed us to go ahead and have very basic, simple services. We're calling them intro basic services, not on the first Sunday in August, but the next 3 Sundays. and they're explained a little bit more in a handout that's back on the table in the foyer. Thank you.
This is to remind everybody that the temple will be observing Obon on Saturday, August 3rd, beginning at 2 o'clock with the Obon service, and dancing will begin at 6:30. If you'd like more information, we have postcards in the back. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I just got my my Wheel of Dharma yesterday, and I noticed that there are a couple things that I noticed. But one was that the IBS graduation, our own Reverend Laverne Imori was awarded a 2024 certificate in Shin Buddhist Studies. So congratulations to her. We wish you all the best, and we're so glad that you're here. So anyway, and then the other thing was that there is a FBWA, that's the Federation of Buddhist Women's Association. For the conference, we're having a fundraiser. It's a virtual fundraiser, it's Panda Express, and I don't think you can remember this number. It's 923254. But it is for Friday, August 9th of this Friday. No, next, August 9th. Anyway, so see me if you're interested, and or I think I'll post it in the hallway. Yeah, and it's to help offset some of the conference costs. Thanks.
Good morning. I hope this is a short message. If I start rambling, I'll start going like this because I don't have any short-term memory anymore. The Obonigen shop is going to be open for the Bonodori, and in preparation, starting from today, we're going to move in. Almost said shitload. I'm not going to say that. Many boxes from one of our storage rooms, so we can set up a lovely shop for everybody. If you don't know what it is, we've got Japanese, mostly Japanese goods, from clothing to dishware, all donated by our temple members because they don't want them anymore. But we want them because we raise funds for the scholarship fund, and we've been doing it for, what we figured, 25 years now. So if you can help us anytime in the next 3 weeks, there's going to be a schedule that will be downstairs. Some of you may have already received it by email. After our refreshments, we're going to need some help moving over boxes to that room so a number of us can begin setting up the shop. Please see me if you're at all interested in, coming out here for an hour or two to help us set up the shop. It's really interesting. Thank you so much.
Hello, our junior YBAs have been extremely busy organizing, doing things, getting ready for the conference. So busy that they're not here, but they did send me for two things. They're doing their opportunity drawing again. I think last year there was over 100 things, and I think they were really good things. So please see me or one of the juniors. On their conference, they're also doing a game show, a Wheel of Dharma, and one of their assignments is to survey 100 Buddhists for Family Feud. And so if you haven't filled that out, please see me or one of the juniors. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Excuse me. Coming up in 2 years, it seems like a far long ways. It's 100-year anniversary for our temple, and we're starting selling things starting to get some fundraising going. But it's actually just for the temple too. But it's a really cool bag. It's like this, and I should have Julia. But anyway, you wear it on your back, like this kind of thing. That and Kimberly and Juliana have been, and I'm sure Jaden, have been working on these bags. They purchased the bags, but they actually made this logo. And it says BTSD, and it's established 1926. And you wear it on your back, so you can do it for obon, put all your stuff in here, and then you don't have, your hands will be free. So it's $20 if you'd like to order one. So please see me, or there's some order blanks, I think, downstairs. But if not, I will. Oh, Kimberly's waving. She has an order list going. Yeah, so thank you to her and her kids for working on this. So please, if you want one, or if you know someone that would like one, please get one. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements? I know for some of you it may seem like this is a break in the spiritual activities, but actually one of the three treasures of Buddhism is Sangha, or the community. So this is how we support the temple going forward. And to us, it's just as much of the spiritual service as it is public service announcements. So at this time, I wanted to say just one or two words before you continue your day. One is that, as you know, I think everyone knows about the attempt on the life of the presidential candidate, former President Donald Trump. Political violence is so abhorrent and so unsettling. I hope that this service has provided a little bit of comfort. In the Buddhist approach, we don't try and shut out those bad things that happen, but we try to understand them, we try to see them in context, and we try and give ourselves the emotional stability so that we can deal with them. Just as earlier in Arturo's message, talking about the day-to-day travails of being a father and how they impacted the lives of three of the important spiritual leaders in our tradition, including the original historical Buddha. So that's part of Buddhism, and we certainly, our thoughts do go out to all of the folks who had to even be there when it happened, but certainly to the family of the poor spectator who was killed, the two people who were shot in critical condition, and of course, President Trump. This will be a difficult election, but perhaps this event will bring us more perspective and allow us to tone down some of the political acrimony and rhetoric that's taking place. So I just wanted to mention that. I was especially reminded because of Arturo's message. So before you leave the building, you're encouraged to offer incense if you'd like. Arturo is going to stay to answer questions you might have about his message or about our tradition. We do have hospitality, nice refreshments downstairs, just one level. This is the fun time for us. We get as much out of visiting each other, seeing each other downstairs as we do up here in the sanctuary. So I encourage you to join us there. And then after hospitality, if some of you don't mind putting in 5 or 10 minutes to help us move a few things from one room to another, it will be greatly appreciated. The more folks we have helping out, the quicker it happens. And that's the only obligation. You're not being asked to stay and unpack the boxes or sort or anything. We have about 3 weeks to get that done between now and the time that the Obonigan shop or the resale shop is open for business. So if you will allow then one last recitation of the name of Buddha. Nem Butsu almost sounds like name of the Buddha, but it is our way of keeping the Buddha in mind. Please put your hands together in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandab, Samandab, Samandab. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Arturo, our Certified Minister's Assistant, for the message. Thank you, Yukari Williams, our Certified Minister's Assistant, for reading the Kansho. Our quiet, supervising, ordained minister, Reverend Laverne Imori, for all of her help. Thank you to Brevin, especially for the audiovisual, and I hope that all of the folks at home who are watching this on live stream enjoyed it as well. Thank you very much for coming today.